Welcome. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of perfect competition, a fundamental concept in economics. Perfect competition describes a market structure where many firms operate, and none has the power to influence prices. This model helps economists understand how markets can function efficiently under ideal conditions. Throughout this video, we'll break down the key characteristics that define perfect competition, making it easy to grasp even if you're new to economics. Let's start by exploring what makes this market structure unique and why it's so important for understanding real-world markets. One of the defining features of perfect competition is the presence of a large number of buyers and sellers. No single participant can influence the market price because each one is too small relative to the entire market. This ensures that the actions of one seller or buyer have a negligible impact on the overall supply or demand. As a result, prices are determined purely by the forces of supply and demand. This characteristic creates a highly competitive environment where each firm must accept the market price as given. A perfectly competitive market, all firms sell identical or homogeneous products. This means that consumers see no difference between the goods offered by different sellers. For example, one farmer's wheat is virtually the same as another's. Because products are indistinguishable, buyers have no reason to prefer one seller over another based on quality or features. This uniformity ensures that competition is based solely on price, not on product differentiation. Another essential characteristic is the freedom of entry and exit in the market. Firms can enter or leave the industry without facing significant barriers, such as high startup costs or strict regulations. This openness ensures that if profits are available, new firms can join the market, increasing supply and driving prices down. Conversely, if firms are losing money, they can exit easily, reducing supply and allowing prices to rise. This dynamic keeps the market efficient and responsive to changes in demand and supply. Perfect competition assumes that all buyers and sellers have complete and instant access to all relevant information. This includes knowledge about prices, product quality, and available technology. Because everyone is fully informed, no one can exploit information gaps to gain an unfair advantage. This transparency ensures that resources are allocated efficiently, and that prices reflect the true value of goods and services in the market. Perfect competition, individual firms and consumers are considered price takers. This means they must accept the prevailing market price and cannot influence it through their own actions. Since each firm's output is small compared to the total market, any attempt to raise prices would result in losing customers to competitors. Similarly, buyers cannot negotiate lower prices, as sellers have plenty of other customers willing to pay the market rate. Perfectly competitive market operates without government interference. There are no subsidies, taxes, price controls, or regulations that affect how firms operate or how prices are set. This absence of intervention allows the forces of supply and demand to determine outcomes naturally. While real-world markets often involve some level of regulation, the perfect competition model assumes a completely free market environment. Perfect competition, firms aim to maximize their profits. They do this by producing at a level where their marginal cost equals the market price. Since firms are price takers, they cannot set their own prices, so their only way to increase profit is by managing production costs efficiently. This drives firms to operate at their most efficient level, benefiting both producers and consumers through lower prices and optimal resource use. Perfect competition distinguishes between short-run and long-run equilibrium. In the short run, firms can make supernormal profits or losses. However, in the long run, the entry and exit of firms ensure that only normal profits are possible. This means that over time, economic profits are driven to zero, and firms earn just enough to cover their costs, including a normal return on investment. Another key trait is the perfect mobility of resources. In a perfectly competitive market, factors of production like labor and capital can move freely in and out of the industry. This means that resources are always allocated to their most productive uses, ensuring maximum efficiency. If one industry becomes more profitable, resources will flow into it, and if another becomes less profitable, resources will leave. The model of perfect competition assumes there are no transportation costs. This means that the price of goods is the same for all buyers regardless of their location. In reality, transportation costs can affect prices and market access, but in the perfect competition model, these costs are ignored to focus on pure market forces. In perfect competition, there are no selling costs such as advertising or promotional expenses. Since all products are identical and buyers have perfect information, there's no need for firms to spend money on marketing to attract customers. This keeps costs low and ensures that competition is based solely on price. Perfectly competitive market features a single, uniform price for each product. Since all goods are identical and there are many buyers and sellers, everyone pays and receives the same price. This uniformity is a direct result of perfect information and the absence of selling costs or transportation costs. Perfect competition assumes there are no externalities, costs or benefits that affect third parties outside the market transaction. This means that all the costs and benefits of production and consumption are reflected in the market price. In reality, externalities like pollution can distort market outcomes, but the perfect competition model ignores these to focus on pure market efficiency. In a perfectly competitive market, firms do not collude or cooperate to fix prices or output. Each firm acts independently, making decisions based on its own costs and the prevailing market price. This independence ensures that competition remains fierce and that prices reflect true supply and demand. Because products are homogeneous and there's perfect information, buyers do not develop loyalty to any particular brand or seller. They are willing to purchase from any firm offering the market price. This lack of brand loyalty further intensifies competition and keeps prices low. In perfect competition, there are no patents, copyrights, or other forms of intellectual property protection. This means that any firm can produce and sell any product, and new ideas or technologies are freely available to all. This openness encourages innovation but also means that firms cannot rely on exclusive rights to maintain profits. Perfect competition does not allow for price discrimination. All buyers pay the same price for the same product, regardless of their identity or purchase quantity. This ensures fairness and transparency in the market as everyone faces the same terms of trade. In perfect competition, there is no product differentiation. Every unit of the product is identical, and firms do not attempt to distinguish their goods through features, quality, or branding. This means that buyers make decisions based solely on price, not on any perceived differences between products. Perfect competition assumes that transactions occur instantly. There are no delays in buying or selling, and goods are exchanged as soon as a price is agreed upon. This assumption helps simplify the analysis of market behavior and ensures that supply and demand are always in balance. In the perfect competition model, there are no time lags in the adjustment of prices or output. Changes in demand or supply are reflected immediately in the market, ensuring that equilibrium is always maintained. This assumption is idealized but helps illustrate how markets can be highly responsive under perfect conditions. Perfect competition assumes that there is no risk or uncertainty in the market. All participants know exactly what to expect in terms of prices, costs, and returns. This certainty allows firms and consumers to make optimal decisions without worrying about unexpected changes or losses. In perfect competition, firms are typically small and do not benefit from economies of scale. This means that increasing production does not significantly lower average costs. As a result, no firm can grow large enough to dominate the market or influence prices, preserving the competitive environment. All market participants have equal access to information. There are no barriers that prevent buyers or sellers from learning about prices, products, or market conditions. This transparency ensures that everyone can make informed decisions and that prices reflect all available knowledge. In the long run, perfect competition ensures that firms cannot earn economic profits. Any short-term profits attract new entrants, increasing supply and driving prices down until only normal profits remain. This process keeps the market competitive and prevents any one firm from gaining an advantage over others. Perfect competition eliminates the possibility of monopoly power. Since there are many firms and no barriers to entry, no single firm can control the market or set prices. This ensures that consumers benefit from competitive prices and a wide choice of suppliers. Because all firms are price takers and products are identical, there are no price wars in perfect competition. Firms cannot undercut each other to gain market share, as doing so would only reduce their own profits without attracting additional customers. Advertising is unnecessary in perfect competition. Since products are homogeneous and buyers have perfect information, firms do not need to advertise to attract customers. This keeps costs low and ensures that competition is based solely on price. Firms in perfect competition operate at full capacity. There is no excess capacity, as firms produce at the most efficient scale to minimize costs and maximize profits. This ensures that resources are used optimally and that there is no waste in the market. In perfect competition, firms do not engage in strategic behavior such as price fixing, collusion, or output restriction. Each firm acts independently, focusing solely on maximizing its own profit given the market price. This independence ensures that the market remains competitive and efficient. Perfect competition assumes there are no legal restrictions on entry, exit, or operation within the market. This means that anyone can start or close a business at any time, and there are no licenses, permits, or regulations that limit competition. Because products are homogeneous and there are no patents, there is little incentive for firms to innovate or develop new products. The focus is on efficiency and cost minimization rather than on creating unique offerings. This can limit technological progress in perfectly competitive markets. Since products are identical and price is the only basis for competition, firms do not compete on customer service. Buyers expect the same level of service from all sellers, and there is no advantage to offering superior support or after-sales care. Loyalty programs are absent in perfect competition. Since buyers have no reason to prefer one seller over another and switching costs are zero, firms do not offer rewards or incentives to retain customers. This keeps the market fluid and competitive. In perfect competition, prices are fixed by the market and there is no room for negotiation between buyers and sellers. Everyone pays and receives the same price, making transactions straightforward and efficient. Trade secrets do not exist in perfect competition. All firms have access to the same information, technology, and production methods. This transparency ensures that no firm can gain a lasting advantage over others. Perfect competition assumes there are no geographic barriers to trade. all buyers and sellers can interact freely regardless of location. This ensures that the market is truly global and that prices are uniform everywhere. There are no minimum or maximum price controls in perfect competition. Prices are determined solely by the interaction of supply and demand, without any artificial limits imposed by authorities or organizations. Long-term contracts are uncommon in perfect competition. Transactions are typically spot trades with prices and quantities determined at the moment of exchange. This flexibility allows the market to adjust quickly to changes in supply and demand. Firms in perfect competition do not have exclusive territories or protected markets. All sellers can compete for any customer and buyers can purchase from any seller. This openness maximizes competition and ensures that prices remain low. There is no price leadership in perfect competition. No single firm sets the price for others to follow. Instead, the market price emerges from the collective actions of all buyers and sellers, ensuring that no one has undue influence. Product guarantees and warranties are not a feature of perfect competition. Since all products are identical and buyers have perfect information, there is little need for additional assurances. This keeps costs low and transactions simple. Perfect competition operates without price floors or ceilings. There are no minimum or maximum prices set by authorities. Prices are determined entirely by the forces of supply and demand, ensuring that the market remains flexible and responsive. Loyalty discounts are not present in perfect competition. Since all buyers pay the same price and there is no brand loyalty, firms do not offer special deals to retain customers. This ensures fairness and uniformity in pricing. Wrap up: perfect competition is an idealized market structure characterized by many buyers and sellers, homogeneous products, free entry and exit, perfect information, and no government intervention. While no real-world market fits this model perfectly, understanding its characteristics helps economists analyze how competitive forces work and what happens when markets deviate from these ideals. By studying perfect competition, we gain valuable insights into efficiency, pricing, and the role of competition in driving innovation and consumer welfare.